Hey friends. Hey friends, it's Cortney. It is Wednesday night, and you are watching Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane Sides here on the Forbidden Knowledge Network. I'm so excited you guys are here. And guess what? Tonight, we are going to jump into a topic that you are seeing all over the place. If you're on any social media, you have heard everything about this topic. We are going to be diving into the Diddy, let's say, call it the Diddy files, okay? And so tonight, hi, Courtney. I see my friends here, my clients here. Thanks, guys, for being here. By the way, while you're here, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and please forward this to your buddies, your friends, and share it if you will. We are going to jump into a topic that I don't typically talk about. Here on the podcast. We talk about it. Sometimes we might throw it in there here and there on the podcast. But this is a topic that I've been following, and I'm telling you, my friends, for so many years. For so many of you, how many, first of all, before we get into it, I want you to tell me in the comments where you're watching from. So if you're here in Oklahoma, if you're all over the world right now, give me and comment where you are watching us from, my friend. So there's Jenny or Gianni. Hello, second podcast, different host, loving the topics. Thank you, my friend. So happy you're here. Look, we've got Bermuda, we've got Washington, Alabama, Massachusetts, OKC, Chicago, Kansas City, Tennessee, Utah, North Carolina, Las Vegas, Ohio. I'm going to be in Las Vegas in November. Anybody from Las Vegas, we may do a meetup. So hope you guys are there. If you're watching again, guys, in just a few, we are going to jump into the Diddy files. If you are new here, I'm a psychic medium. I have been doing this work for over 20 years. I have had this podcast on this amazing network for now over 3 years. And we have built a community. We have built a connection. And I'm telling you, my friends, what you're seeing happening in the world today is nothing new. That is the sad part about what we're seeing with Diddy right now, is that this has been slowly being uncovered for many, many years. Those of us who have been screaming from the rooftops about it have been viewed as crazy, nuts, conspiracy, all of the things. But many, by the way, many of you have had, let's pull that laptop down, by the way. Many of you have, use your own discernment. You can see these things playing out. You can feel these images. There was a person that commented before we went live who I could see in the comments said, I see the image, those 3 people on that YouTube thumbnail, and they have a body reaction. They can tell that something is not right. What you're feeling, my friends, is evil energy. You are. That's what you're feeling. Look, guys, we've got Detroit in the house, Baltimore. Look at all that. Hawaii. I love it. Tony says, don't be distracted. That's right. That's right. Mars says, it was such a pleasure to meet you at Forbidden Knowledge Awards, you and your family. It was so nice. I enjoyed the conversations. Thank you, my friend. My family is out there putting up Halloween stuff as we speak. So if they were in here, I'd tell them to come in and say hello to you, my friends. And we've got 333 here live. So guys, how many of you, I want you to give me an emoji, have seen this coming? I'm talking about with Diddy, and I'm talking about with the state of Hollywood. This is something that many of us have seen was coming. We have felt it. Many of us have grown up in this empire of, Hollywood. We have been, buying those Star magazines, those People magazines. How many of you used to do that? I remember being obsessed in the 2000s, early 2000s, buying the magazines, by the shiny, pretty glitter, by having to have the next purse, by having to do all of these things. My friends, we were being sold to. And the underbelly of this industry is quite ugly. I have a client who is very high up in the music industry. And she and I were speaking about the music industry and all of this, the dark side. And this was before it all went public, before he was really being found out, P. Diddy. And her response, I said, hey, I want to have you on the podcast if you're open to it. She said, yes, we're going to get her out on here eventually. She said, I see it, I believe it, I understand it, I can see it so clearly. And she said, but so many of them, and we're talking about the artists, the celebrities, the actors, whomever, don't even understand what they're involved in. So some of these players are, yes, true victims. But so many of them are actually the monsters. And that's what you're seeing play out here with P. Diddy. Eddie Lee says spirituality is the same way. I want you to clarify. I'm curious what you mean by that, my friend. And Tony says the old world is over. That's right. And expert says, let's see what change brings, if it actually comes. My friends, what I can tell you right now is we are in a spiritual war. The way and Raccoon says selling their soul to the devil, that's exactly what many of them have done when they've taken those papers they've signed on. They have either agreed to barter, sacrifice in one way or another. And I'm telling you, my friends, when you do that, there's actually no running from it. It does catch up with you. I'm so grateful for my own awakening, my own knowing. I'm so grateful that many of you, if you're watching this, it is because you have woken up and maybe you're just curious. You're curious about what's actually happening, what the truth is. And what I'm telling you is it's actually, I believe, so much darker than what we're even seeing. We do, of course, have to be careful with the words we use tonight. So I hope that you guys can understand and read into what I'm saying. Yeah. Natasha says Jay-Z and Beyonce ? How many of you have been watching Beyonce in the last few years and see that there's been a shift, a change, right? Teresa, I love you, my friend. So not true. I love you, my friend. So not true. So I encourage you to stay close and get to know me, because that's not true, my friend. There are so many people that are also white that have the same energy, my friend. But I thank you for being here. If this does not resonate with you, I ask you to move along, but I appreciate you being here. I really do. Look, Awaken, Southern Colorado is here. I so appreciate it. That's right. So it's interesting. Yeah, somebody says she is definitely a high priestess of dark arts. If you watch these concerts, I want you to even go back and replay them. And if you'll see there, she or her team, and this is happening with many artists right now, they are removing many of these videos, even here on YouTube. They're removing somebody said her eyes look blank. They do. They're removing so many of this so that we actually don't figure it out. And the thing is, when you're in this, let's call it the cabal, when you're in at this level, they also say that you must put it out there. You cannot hide this. You have to almost show the sign or the symbol. So when we see the different symbols where they're covering the eye, how many of you understand what I'm talking about? You guys can put a comment here. You understand exactly what I'm speaking of. They'll cover the one eye, and you can absolutely go through the list of celebrity who's been doing that. Blaze says subconscious programming to get past your conscious filters. That's correct. And Raccoon says Madonna was the first to put satanic themes in the video. I actually agree with you. How many of you have been mourning like crazy the music that you used to listen to? I saw a really funny TikTok the other day where it was somebody wanting to play the radio, and they were playing it, and then a great old song was coming on, and then they realized what the intention or the meaning behind it was. How many of you have had that experience here lately? It's because your soul has awakened to a frequency and to an energy that understands that it can no longer be controlled. We can no longer be sold to in that way. We are awake to all of the energy. Guys, again, if you're here, please do me a favor, hit like and share on this podcast tonight. Subscribe to this channel so you can get more real truth and information from all of the many hosts on this channel. Daniel says Moloch cult, right? Yeah, it's exactly what that is. I've had many friends here lately go to some of Beyonce's concerts, and so many of them. This channel is Forbidden Knowledge. I am here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central on this channel. You can also find me on my own channel called Cosmically Connected with Cortney, Kane, Sides. The head priest is Clive Davis. Raccoon, you're on top of this, my friend. I need to bring you on and we can have this conversation. That's right. An expert says, sometimes I mourn being naive. Us being very careful with our words. Think of the words, these lyrics to these songs that we've been singing. I remember about 7 years ago hearing my little girl in the back seat singing some of these songs. We've talked about this in a few podcasts before, and understanding that, my gosh, these are spells. And we've all been put under this blind following and believing these celebrities. And now if you even go and listen to any of these Grammys, any of those award shows, any of them, do you know what who they're thanking today? Instead of God or Jesus or whomever they were thinking so long ago, do you know who they're thanking? They're thanking Beyonce. They're thanking Beyonce. Oh, Diddy tried to poison Jamie Foxx, but for what? Many celebrities have been trying to get out of the grasp, I would say Diddy's grasp. You saw Kanye do it when Kanye was being, I would say, exiled from the music industry, from Hollywood. How many of you remember that? Remember, from leaving the Kardashians to the side, right? It's happening. They're waking up. But many of these people are so fearful. When was the last time we saw Jamie Foxx? We haven't seen him, have we? Has anybody seen him? It's Simply Cindy says they tried to take Kanye out a few times. They have. But listen, truth will prevail. Oh, listen. Ampu says this year's Grammys were very demonic. So much of it is, my friends. Not just that. Let me dare to say that so much of what is aired is nowadays. Take a breath in, exhale it out, man. We're not keeping a hold of that. The greatest thing that we can do as the people, the greatest thing that we can do is grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally. The greatest thing that we can do is attune to our highest self. Bella says we are and have been awake. We are. And so all of these falsities, what happens is they start to come to the wayside. And so let's talk about plants. Somebody said Corey Gamble. We're going to get into it, guys. So we see all the things that Diddy has been accused of, which, listen, I guess until he's in the court of law, it remains to be seen if he is found guilty. I know within my own knowing, my own energy of how it feels to me. How does it feel to you guys? How does it feel? When we hear the truth, we feel it within our system and our body. Is that not right? Right? And we understand that when we hear that truth, we know, like we know, like we know. And Awaken says, no more handlers for me. That's right. Many people believe that Diddy is part of the FBI, CIA. He's an informant. I do believe that that's true. What they do is they collect this information. Again, there were videos, cameras in every room of that home. Many of you have probably heard this before, right? Those tapes are being leaked right now. And I see poor Justin. Yes, poor Justin. Let me tell you that many that were hurt were simply children. Many that continue to be hurt. By the way, it was Diddy. If we think that this is not prevailing and starting with other people, or there's not other pockets of informants or people that are actually doing the same thing, collecting information, working for Clive Davis, doing all of these things, we're crazy if we think that it ends, if it ends with him. It does not, my friends. And if you want to even get into the conversation of the tunnels, my friend, how many of you have been hearing about the tunnels since before COVID? How many of you have been talking about it to certain friends in certain circles? and everybody thinks you're crazy. How many of you? I'm going to see. Give me an emoji. Let me see it. That's right. And when we add all of this up, there's more. He was not alone. There were drivers. There were people that went to solicit and pick up these women that were being used in men, not just women, but people to be used as workers in the home. Let's call them that, right? Mm. And the sad part is many of you, I saw it already in the comments, don't even believe that he will be, that he'll even pay for it, correct? Right? What it does take, Diddy is a small fry. He is. This is the system, my friends. This is a system that is in control of the way things operate. In those tunnels, what they're saying, I'm curious if any of you have heard this, but what they are saying, there is a woman, let me get her name correct, of Allie Carter. Anybody hear of Allie Carter? She is a person who's been speaking up since early, 2020, 2021, sharing all of this information, sharing all of the information about what is underneath the tunnels, about waking up being laced with, drinking drugs, being laced with, everybody has heard of the baby oil and all of that, right? Waking up in the tunnel caged. And what she has shared, they're actually finding out is true today. But this poor woman was seen as crazy, was seen as delusional, was seen as a drug addict, all of the things, right? Ampu says, just got hip to Allie Carter last week. She's been doing this for so long, right? And so the reason it's time for us to wake up is because this happening in the world, my friends, it's important for each of us to wake up and no longer be controlled. That's why we're talking about it this evening. It's important for us to speak up for what is right and what is wrong, for us to pray for those that have been hurt, for us to send the highest form of energy for those that need it, to see and witness the truth of this energy. We cannot ignore. I don't believe that it's up for us to ignore this. If we ignore it, we turn a blind eye, and that is what has been happening for so long. Yes, it goes down to politicians. It goes down to all through Hollywood. It just goes through. And the poor kids, my friends, right? It's even in our own local system, is it not? How many people know families who had a family member hurt another child or person in the family, yet they learned that they were to keep the secret? Those secrets, when we cover up those secrets, it allows those terrible, negative, routine, evil to repeat in those families, in those cycles. And so when we are rising in our connection, it might hurt, we might not like it, but clearing our energy, coming back and grounding, right? Tuning into our highest self, doing that inner work, and being an advocate of truth and of light is exactly what this world and this everything needs. Somebody says, what Cat Williams say, y'all? That's right. And Cat Williams, they tried to act as though he was crazy, right? That's what they do. It's a whole system. When somebody starts speaking on truth, they start to really ruin their reputation and attack them. They do. Nellie says it starts with a conversation. So Jaguar Wright, how many of you have heard of Jaguar Wright? She is also one that they have been going after. The smear campaign. I see that. Yes, that's right. Thank you, my friend. They do. And Anthony Hood just said they tell you in the movies. Go watch. What is the movie, guys? You guys are going to tell me. It's got Tom Cruise and his ex-wife in it, Nicole Kidman. What is the movie? The filmmaker was actually murdered just right after, either right before it played or I think it was right after it was aired, that they did their big premiere, because he left scenes in it. Thank you. Eyes Wide Shut. Everybody go watch that. Go watch it. There's different levels to this earth and this experience we're having here, my friends. And in order to fully grow and become enlightened, I don't believe we ignore the dark. I think we see it, we understand it, we know, we keep our eyes on it, we understand, and we rise to the highest form of level. Does that make sense? And we warn, we speak up, and we help others. Many of these handlers, many of these people, you will be seeing, I want to say this, losing their star, okay? Losing their star power. I would like to say that many of them will be having the same fate as, some of the others that have been, there have been a couple we know of, right? One is no longer here, they say, Epstein. And I think that they will try, they will have things come against them. I believe that there will be court, but I do believe that so much of the truth will come through. Understanding and giving grace to so many of these people, though, that did not know, I think is also very important. But there are so many people, again, that we've idolized that knew everything and actually helped perpetuate the trauma, the hurt, and the pain. Lavera, thank you, my friend, says it's not about separation and the stress trying to help our loved ones. We still need to be there. That's right. Dylan says Christ is returning. Joshua says Usher, ? Listen, I'm a firm believer. Let's get real technical, guys. I'm a firm believer that Usher was a child when I believe he was also a victim at a certain point. But I do believe then that he also became somebody that also then became a predator. That's how it feels to me. I believe there were some that were hurt that did not perpetuate the pain. But there were some that did what was done to them. Simply, Cindy says, Usher is on both sides, unfortunately. I agree. That's right. Many, you're listing names now. That's right. That's right. I see him coming in. Somebody used the word groomed. That's exactly what's been happening. There have been so many lives lost in the situation, that's in this huge situation. A life it's really nothing to any of them. The fact that they can grow financially and in power is what matters to them. And when they hurt and they're able to control another, they're in their mind, sadistic mindset, they become more fierce. But it's more fierce in that evil way. And they must continue to perpetuate that negative energy. Yolanda says Bieber is mentally damaged. I have seen a few videos of Bieber. When I see him, you can see his pain. He's been speaking of it. Go watch some of his videos here, maybe the last few. You will see him speaking and sharing. They are afraid of people who find a voice and people who find a team that will help keep them clear, my friend. Many people don't care for his wife. I think she's been so beautiful for him. I think she loves him for him. And I think she's helping him return to that light of his soul, which he lost and got so far away from so long ago. So I believe when we have seen him breaking down and we have seen him go so far away from himself, I believe he's on his way to find himself yet again. And I believe that while this might be one of the most painful things that he is going through and that will ever be out there, I think it will set him free. It will no longer control him. It will no longer keep him depleted and take him away when you just put it out there and say, this is the way it was. This is how I was hurt. And I'm telling you, my friends, he's already put it in a song. There is a video. You will see the older people coming around. They have live auctions, my friends, for people. This is something that has been out for so long. And so many of these little pieces, people have put out a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit of here. But it's actually that spider web, those legs of information. It all comes back together. And it really is an evil, let's call it cabal. Somebody said, go just and speak your truth. That's right. And Don Harlem says, Taken. Guys, go watch the movie Taken. It's terrifying. I always say that if I didn't do this work, many of you know, many of you are clients of mine. I'm a psychic medium and have been doing this for like 20 years, 15 years full time now. It's been a long time. Can't really imagine doing anything else. If I ever changed my profession, if I ever switched just out of the blue, I would be working in the matter of children and saving children or helping children. Somebody says, Dr. Strange, hi, my friend, love you, my friend, said, watch The Sound of Freedom. All of this, my friends, lead back to the topic we're talking about tonight. I want you to go back. I want you to listen to Wendy Williams. I want you to go back. If you haven't done that, many of you, I believe, already have. But I want you to go back and watch that. I want you to see how she's now, they've essentially, now she's been crazy, right? And they've been trying to really tarnish her own reputation and her work, right? But all along she's been speaking truth. She even got fired so many years ago for speaking about P. Diddy and his escapades, if you will. Okay. But when people were speaking out, people were hurt. They lost their jobs. They were denied, working any longer. They were even unalived, if you will. Many. Tupac, Biggie, we can go on and on and on. And let's not forget, dear J-Lo. As women, how many of you guys, women, we see a woman in a magazine, we're like, oh my gosh, she looks great. We've idolized. And men, you guys, I'm sure, have done that in different ways as well, right? We've idolized these people. This music has made us really tune into it, by the way, and invoke energy that is not serving us. It is not good. And now we get to sound like the crazy ones, right? But let me tell you, if you speak the truth in time, that energy comes up and rises. That truth will rise to the table. It always does. It will come out, and that truth will prevail. So my question is, what side of the fence are you going to be on? I still have dear friends who I love so much, by the way, who are fierce about Miss Beyonce. I love them. I take a breath in. I may be like, say my truth and how I feel about it, and I drop it, because they get to decide how they're going to, entertain that. It's not mine to do, I guess. And so they will come to the understanding and the realization of the truth. She is actually not, she's been a perpetuator of this as well. There is a, she was, I don't even know how to say it. She had a lawsuit. It was her drummer, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. but it was a drummer, and she had a suit filed on her for witchcraft, had a suit filed her because she was doing these rituals and these ceremonies and putting spells upon her team. This is real. It is, you can find this information. This is out there. This is something that that they went to court on. And I believe that she was found guilty of this. Dylan says, what about Oprah? Somebody earlier brought up Oprah and was talking about The Rock. You're right. It's all part of it, my friend. It makes me go back to thinking my childhood. I was, you know, raised a Christian church, all the things. And I remember thinking of, say, you know, those that were Amish, or, you know, you couldn't listen to music, you couldn't dance, you couldn't do all of those things, right? Somebody says Taylor Swift. Yep, that's. I agree. Watch those concerts. Mm. You can get sued if it's true, if there's proof, my friend. Go check it out. Kim S says there was a restraining order with that case. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And she got the restraining order, by the way. She did. That's right. So it's very interesting. I want you guys to pay attention. This is, yes. And by the way, sometimes these things come up. I saw somebody else say distraction, distraction. Listen, you're correct too, that sometimes these things blow up right when they want us to focus on something else rather than whatever the moving parts are over here. That is happening too, by the way. There's a reason they're saying, look at Beyonce, look at P. Diddy, look at all of this right now. Don't look over here. So pay attention. We don't have to live in the fear, my friends. Take a breath in, big exhale out. But pay attention, understand, see how the truth feels like within you. Take a breath in, let that go, and then find your truth in it and let it go. And speak your truth and connect to the light, right? And then look over here and watch all of the things that are being passed. I'm talking about worldly things. So where are the politicians sending the money? What are the laws being passed? What is happening within our world, our government? There are things over here. There are moving parts that they are saying, hey, somebody earlier said sleight of hand. That's right. Look over here. Don't look over here. They believe we are dumb. They believe that we are sheep. And we're not. You're too smart. We're all too smart for that. So pay attention, my friend. Jabber says, Diana, due to Sean John Combs or Diddy, we all in this chat have bad energy. Just think about it. Let's take a breath in, big exhale out, right? Tonight, this is a topic we don't typically chat about, right? It is a topic that I don't always dive into. I pay attention, I'm aware, and I feel it. But it's a topic I felt as though I wanted to address because so many people are afraid to really say it out loud because they feel like people are going to say that they're crazy, right? It's true. Let's see here. So interesting. I see all of the comments coming and trying to piece them together, my friend. A CRLT says, girl, Stanley Kubrick was 72 after Eyes Wide Shut. Not old, but not strange to pass at that age. Yeah, but they were trying to, I agree, that's true. But just pay attention. Take a breath in, see how it feels to you. But if you look into it, there were definitely some odd correlations to information during that time. They had asked, and we're talking, guys, about the Eyes Wide Shut movie. They had asked him to remove parts of the scenes, which they have been removed in the final cut that aired, by the way. But they removed scenes because it was it gave too much away, if you will. And he said no. He went ahead and put out the original cut, and as soon as he put the original cut out, that's it. And so you can believe that he passed, on his own or believe that maybe they didn't want that information out there. You get to decide how that truth hits and feels in your body. That's right. Wow. Thank you, Andrea, my friend. I appreciate you. That's right. Mm. So, is there, if I see that person, my friend, I'll remove them. So, listen, guys, if you're not here to be here and kind, you will get removed. So, I appreciate everybody saying that. If somebody wants to highlight maybe their comment, I can remove that person. So, just a warning, we will do that. Because you guys, if you're not into the topic, you can always move along, my friends. That's right. Ah, let's see. Well, I see one comment. I see Jabbar in New York. Jabbar, if you're not nice, we'll remove you, my friend. But don't want to do that. This is why people vote Republican instead of Democrat. No, Diddy tried to hurt and ruin Wendy Williams. I'm trying to read if there was something that is not kind. I don't really see it yet. So Jabbar, not like all of the leads back to Diddy. Why are you supporting him? Interesting. I don't know what I don't see anything negative. Anyway, guys, so questions. I'm here. Let's see if you guys have any questions tonight about this topic, right? Let's see. IFES Travel Coaching says we are becoming more aware. We have to be patient with ourselves and seek ways to be more of service to others. I agree, and actually giving that away in a way that we can. That doesn't mean if you can't pay for your bills or your utilities and things like that, then do things out of service for free, for sure. We all must live, correct? But I do think it's important that now is the time to find our connection to the light, and be really taking care of our health, our mental health, our emotional health. And Annie says, stay focused. That's right. And stay focused. Artie says, do you believe he did it all? I believe he did it all. But I also believe there was a team. It was not just Diddy. I do feel like Diddy did it all. But there are others. There were other people. Ashton Kutcher. There were so many other people that knew what was going on, that perpetuated the pain, the hurt, and all of it. That's right. Natasha says, of course, Britney was on Disney Clubhouse. She was also a victim. Guys, this is something that is so old news. Any of the Hollywood stuff. Now, I had a conversation with my assistant this morning. My oldest daughter used to model, very beautiful girl. And there was a girl that modeled with her alongside. And this beautiful, also very beautiful girl. And I would go to every casting call with my daughter. And you could tell after a while, or every shoot, let's say that every shoot. And one of these other girls was shipped off by her parents to LA, and which I remember seeing, like, oh, I wanted to go. In my daughter, I could see that. And that poor girl, now she's quite a bit older now, of course. She was like 14 at the time. Going and living there without her parents sounds like an amazing deal. And that poor girl coming back, and she is a thread. That light is gone. It is not there. They fall to that energy. I'm telling you. I see Orlando Bloom. Not Orlando Bloom. What's the name? Orlando Brown. Thank you. Orlando Brown. That's right. Orlando has been speaking. He was on the Disney Channel. He had a show, and Disney, yeah, not good, my friend. Start to do the dissecting. There's a very well-known documentary that's out. All of the information in that documentary, many of us have felt for many years and have been expressing it out loud for so long, and have been called crazy, or, oh my gosh, the roll of the eye. And then here we are. It is in every branch of Hollywood. Someone says Ellen DeGeneres. You got it. You got it. We could be here all day long. Katy Perry, look at The concerts, my friends. Look at the concerts. I know. Somebody says, I hate finding stuff out about people I admired so much growing up. Oh my goodness. I remember finding out about Tom Hanks. Lavera, thank you, my friend. I so appreciate it. Yeah, and Jay-Z, that's right. But I remember finding out about Tom Hanks and feeling, or when I say finding out, not having massive concrete, proof, but finding out so much energy or so many different things. And when I read them, I could see it. I could understand it. There's a reason why also, my friends, so many of these actors and musicians, they do these rituals that are like humiliation rituals. They make these men specifically wear dresses. How many of you have seen all of the men wear dresses, right? I know. Somebody said, please don't talk about Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump. I know. Do not do a deep dive if you don't want your feelings hurt, my friend. Don't do it. Don't do it. So somebody says Super Bowl, everyone wearing devil outfits, red, lots of signs. When you watch these videos, by the way, it was at a Super Bowl, and I can't remember her name, another artist. She was with Taylor Swift, and she made all of the symbols. She was making there it is, Ice Spice. Thank you, Andrea. Look at the answers coming back. Thanks, guys, for being there for me. When Taylor goes up and she's drinking this beer, and that camera's getting her, right? That camera's coming in, and Ice Spice goes in and she starts doing the hand movements, the symbols, whatever. And it's you have to put it out there. When you have given your soul up to that kind of energy, you almost are telling the world around you that this is what it is. But they do it so subtle that sometimes you'll miss it. Right. And so many of these different things are sacrifices. Many of these things are, they have to put it in the movies. They have to tell you what they're doing. And many of these people will do that and they'll laugh. Oh, yeah. They eat babies. Oh, that's so funny. You'll see so many different actors doing this. I want you guys to go back and watch a really old movie. Who remembers Death Becomes Her? With Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep. Anybody remember Death Becomes Her? Go watch that movie. Nellie H., Sam Smith, what a sad one. Oh, my friend, what a voice, right? He had such a gift. Go back and listen to the music he put out there. You will see the deterioration of his soul and his heart. Watch that. And they all put it out there. So Kevin says, yes, great movie. It is. I loved that movie, but go back and rewatch it today. What they're talking about is, I don't even know if I can say it on YouTube, is Adrene. Okay. Is it 3 syllables, right? Adrene. So if you all don't understand what I'm talking about, Google it, take a look, check it out. But watch it. That's a real thing. These people want youth. They want to devour the heart and the souls of others. Andrea says, what happens to their soul? I think it's forever Moloch's. Artie says, and the CIA knows all about it. They do. Oh, goodness. Tigers Mundo says, Cortney, could you even handle the energy of Jaguar Wright if you had her on your pod? I think I would be like, sit in questions and wow, wouldn't that be wonderful? You all need to message her and say, you need to be on Cortney Kane Sides' podcast. Let's do it. It's heartbreaking, by the way. This is not fun, right? To have these types of conversations. This is why I don't normally do this here, by the way. I would never do that here. Or I would never typically do that. And it's because it does not, I don't sit in that energy all day long. I sit in the highest form of connection, the highest, truest, and the best. but we cannot turn a blind eye to the truth. I think speaking up about the energy is vital. I believe it's so important for us to make sure that we see, and they know we see, they see that we see them. And what happens is we get very protective of our babies and our children. And we teach them what good connection, love, and light look like. I love it. I love it. It is interesting. It's interesting to me. Yeah, somebody said it's draining. It is draining. So that's why we can tune into it and move it along. Jeremy, I did not know that. Lots of facts. So, friends, what do? We go home, we pray. We are praying for Justin Timberlake and so many of the other victims, the children. There were many minors that came out with that massive list. Over 3,000 people have reported being hurt in this massive case. And I believe even more will be coming through. Some, of course, might be trying to earn a buck. Okay. Gross. That's not cool. But those that truly have been hurt, I want you and I want us to be really tuning in and sending love and prayers and connection with them. Somebody is talking about Kim Porter. Hey, Roderick, my brother's on here. Hey, Roderick. We're going to bring Roderick in. Hey, friend.
Hold on a minute.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
Guys, this is Roderick. And so, nope, I cannot hear you, my friend.
I can't hear you.
You're going to fix it. Okay, Roderick's going to fix it real quick. So I'm going to take you out, Roderick, fix it and come back in. Oh, maybe he's going to do it. We'll leave him on for a second. Somebody's talking about Kim Porter. So Kim Porter was P. Diddy's ex-wife or partner. Were they even married? I'm not sure exactly if they were even married. Friends, Roderick is another amazing host here on the network. He is my friend, my brother. And somebody said, we can hear you. I could not hear Roderick. So could everybody hear Roderick? If you say, yes, I can hear Roderick. Oh, wow. Maybe it was me. Okay, yeah, your energy channel says they weren't married. That's right. Somebody says, who effing cares? I get it, right? And she wrote a tell-all book about her experience there, what she saw. That book actually set a really big kind of, I think it started to go bestseller, and then they say she was offed, died of pneumonia. Well, what happens when you digest the baby oil? It shows up as pneumonia if there's like a overdosing or whatever of it, right? And so many people are saying that was him selecting for her it's time for you to go, right? That's right. And it is one of those things where one person speaks up and the next person feels a little bit more safe, right? I'm telling you, there's Aubrey Day. Aubrey Day was one of the girls with the, what was the show? The show Making the Band. Danity Kane. Okay, Danity Kane, back in the day, she with all of the girls group, she came out a long time ago and she's been speaking on Diddy and all of these different things that he's been trying to do, the prostitution, all of that he was like almost forcing these poor girls into. And nobody else in that group was speaking up. Nobody else was sharing their truth in this. And that girl, I'm so proud of her. Somebody says, I remember that show, right? And when you start to see that there's truth to some of these stories, when you start to see that this, Simply Cindy says they called Aubrey crazy too. That's true. They did. And Simply Cindy says, I believed her when she first said it. That's right. I did too. So I want you guys to learn some discernment, right? When you're feeling the energy of, when you're connecting to this information that they're throwing out there, when they're trying to debunk these different things, how is it that you feel about the information coming through, right? Somebody says, do you think Diddy and his empire are actually going down? I do, but let me tell you, I believe that this structure underneath it, I pray that it hits them in a way that it never has. And I believe that this is. I think this is hitting them in such a way that it's causing such breaks in the structure that it has to come out in order for this new energy of the new earth. Guys, to think that it's not related is crazy. I'm telling you, it is absolutely crazy. I heard something. Let's see. Hi, Roger.
Hey, what's going on?
We can hear you, my friend. We can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Well, I can't say I'm doing all right. I almost lost my right eye. So
you lost your right eye?
Almost.
Okay. Well, are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little painful right now, but it's gonna fix itself. I just hopped on. I was getting ready to do I saw your text, but I can't stay long because I have a production meeting to do at 8 in a few minutes. But
listen, my friend, I'm glad you hopped on for a second. I texted Roderick and said, "Hey, Roderick, this is going to be a good one. Jump on if you want to." Do you know anything about this? What do you know? What have you checked out?
Well, I mean, now I think it's going to get. If we're talking about the Puff Daddy, correct?
Yeah, we are.
I think it's getting ready to get even worse. There was a Houston attorney about a week ago that did a press conference. Everybody need to look that up. And they are going after everybody. He said that they've had over 3,000. Okay, wait a minute. They said they're running late. So I got to get on out at 6:45. Okay, so I may can stay a little bit. They just text and said they're running late. Okay, well, maybe, I don't know. Let me see. But anyway, so they did he did a press conference, and his press conference was telling people that, to come forward. They had over 3,000 people that called in, said that they had, encounters. They took on 120 of them as a case. Now, supposedly at this point too, they're saying that they're going after corporations, other celebrities. They're going to file on everybody. It makes sense because if you think about it as an attorney, he's going to make a ton of money. Is that they can sue all these other people because they watched it, they was there, or they're part. So that means there's going to be a huge snowball effect. Now, I would assume by them doing that, contacting people saying we're about to sue you, there's going to be a lot of payoff that we're not going to hear about.
Right.
But they're going to have to make some examples of a few people. So I think it's going to get a little more worse. It is going to get worse. Unbeknownst what we think Puffy was going to squeal, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I think they're going to twist some legs. But then I'll still, like I said, I just think that, this thing is ugly, man. It's really, it needs to come out. But because now the whole party is, the parties wasn't illegal. It's the other stuff. There's people now saying that they just woke up one morning and realized something didn't happen to them. So,
Well, and not even remembering what that was. Not even remembering.
Yes.
I mean, so the body oil was laced, but their drinks were laced. I mean, all of these different things were laced. And so they leave, they go home, and they're in almost a bit of a hangover or a stupor. And they have that feeling of not remembering, having gaps of time and all of that. And I think the part that's so tragic, well, first of all of it's tragic. Every part is tragic. But the children also involved is what the underage minors, it's just it is all horrific. And so I believe that, there were politicians, there were preachers there even.
Yes.
That's the thing, is that there were preachers there. Yes, somebody says Clive Davis is the OG Diddy. That's true. That's true.
Well, I think Clive would be, I think what we're seeing is something that has been going on for years. It's not just, I've talked to people I've talked to people that's been part of a lot of Puffy parties and just people that I knew. And there was this second party thing that everybody knew about, but once again, there's that situation where they didn't think that, they were being recorded, and all of this stuff. But for the use of um, tapes and using it against people, this has been a Hollywood tradition in all this for years, right? So it's not nothing new. The problem here, once we know, is that there's people that's been taping, they didn't know it, and then they find out later, hey, you need to be in this control thing. And I think it's you and I talk a lot, right? And to find out that there's going to be other people involved. So when you think of Jaguar White, who has been claiming off the bat, it has been she's been claiming stuff now. Recently, she went on one of the news nations, so they're picking this up. And
she was just on Pierce Morgan or whatever his name
maybe
is.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Jay-Z and them just sued them.
Yes.
To get an apology back, but I think it's just pretty much. So I'm waiting to see what other celebrities, that they're going to bring out. That it's going to be the ones who were A-list celebrities at the time, maybe don't have the 20-30 million to pay off, and they behind is going to go down, right? But the ones who got the check, they're going to save themselves. So
I think that I think that they definitely will try. Now, somebody else just said, why don't you speak about Ryan Garcia? Ooh, it's a good one. We should do that. And the Garth Brooks. I mean, that's a whole
okay. We need the whole series. Remember, we're working on our conspiracy, psychic conspiracy podcast. So we're working on that. So we're right down in the alley of doing some things. I think that, we should go that route.
We should definitely go there and do that. So guys, we'll have that on there. Simply says Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Ashton Kutcher. Yes, done. That's true.
Well, but I think it's all of them, really. So.
Tommy Mottola or whatever. Yes, that's right. I mean, Mariah Carey, so many years ago. How many of you remember hearing that I can't say her name.
Mariah Carey.
Mariah, thank you. Mariah Carey escaped essentially from their mansion, from their house. I mean, that's exactly what happened. And so she was literally having to escape from him to get away from him. He had her tracked and bugged and all the things. Back then, it wasn't as easy for somebody to do that. Now, you really had to go to great lengths to do that with somebody, right? And somebody said, didn't he hold her hostage in the house? Yes, that's exactly right. And I believe her. And so that's the thing right now, going back on how does this feel to me? I mean, they're saying even, Jay-Z's lover, I'm going blank on her name now, she had passed, and they're saying that she was even pregnant when she passed. And some say that could be a child of theirs today.
Well, I think it wasn't at one point they were saying that was Blue's biological mother.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that would have been her, because they debunked this Beyonce baby bump one time when she was sitting down.
That's right. So and it deflated. Yeah. And it deflated. Yeah. Aaliyah, guys, could literally be here. Kathy White was her name. Thank you, Mike. Nice. I appreciate it. It's always so nice when we have people giving us the answers in the comments.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. But what are your thoughts when it comes down to? I was listening at the time you were going into Jennifer Lopez's side of things, especially with her being involved in that accident that still is not out of statute of limitations. How far would they go? But what are your thoughts, though? There's a lot of powerful people that probably is caught on these tapes. So, the government is not going after them. When you got this attorney saying we're going to go file civil cases on all of them, what's the threshold on that? Where the government don't step into him and say, shut the F up. You're ready to break open some stuff we don't want you to have, because you would think that the people that was connected to Homeland Security who said, go in there and get them tapes, brother, for us, is now saying, wait a minute. Now these witnesses are coming forward. We can't stop that train, because we can't knock them all off, It's
about to get ugly. It is about, and if we think it's gotten ugly, I think so much of it will actually rise to the surface. I believe that just the state of the world energetically, the information is going to continue. So I don't know that there's any control over trying to keep it under wraps. I think you're right when you say that, and somebody says, save the children, period. That's exactly right. And Jabbar says it's already ugly. It is so ugly. That's it. You're right. And I do feel as though there's going to be no hiding it. And so some of those that are up at the top, I don't feel as though I feel like those charges are going to be going now. It's trickling to Jay-Z. I think he's been clearing his path or trying to work on that. I feel like, but if you have looked at anything that B has done in the last year and a half, 2 years, her energy is like closed in. She looks dark. There's something she is not the same person. She doesn't truly look happy. She looks overworked, exhausted, all the things. But I think that these things that they have perpetuated in this with this energy has finally come to meet and match them. And so I don't believe that they can stop the train that's already on its way to get them. That's how it feels to me.
I think that, okay, so I'm still not for that the attorney that's filing it is trying to be a hero, like he says.
Yeah.
Because he's smart enough to know that by putting this out there, it would make sense that before you file, you're going to make sure you verify the information. Then you're going to call the people that's involved in this lawsuit, because you don't want to file a bad lawsuit. And then, but that gives you the opportunity for 100 clients. 40 of them is going to say, I got $5 million each. So that's $200 million he's going to take in, 33% or whatever. He's going to get paid. And like I say, these cases here will never hit the light of day unless the government steps in and say, okay, y'all got to show us what you got that we don't have, because we don't have these witnesses. And we're going to see if we can tie this into the case. Now, what does that happen for the people who said, I just done paid $10 million to get my name out of here, and now the government is coming after me?
I think getting paid thing is an old way. They are all used to getting to pay their way, getting to bargain their way, getting to off someone, they've bargained with that. And sometimes that piper, it's time to pay the piper.
Pay the piper. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
I think that's what's happening. So I think there could be some payoffs, but people aren't going to forget. They are not, I don't believe that they're winning. I think that there will be a reckoning happening. And it's not just with them. It is so full of every creed, every whatever. This is happening for those that were in this business and in this trade, because many of them were going. And I do believe that there was also even money exchange in being there. I don't believe that they were just going for the freak offs, that they were,
I think they got paid because they said it. They said a lot of them got money and got paid off. Now, there was another attorney that was representing some lady. Now, I don't know how she could even keep her license. She was doing a Gestapo tactic live on the air the other day when she says she's no longer with the client, but she's giving the people the opportunity to do a catch and kill. So that's the money side. So I would think that unless there was someone out there who have the morals and are really sincere about bringing these people down, money is no object. They're not going to take the money. Now, of course, the attorney is not going to work for free. Yeah. I'm just not. Because of these things has been covered up so long, I'm still a little iffy about the fact that there's not going to be some big payoffs, that there's going to be some big ones that's going to squander out this thing. And we're not going to never hear. And for example, I'm not going to say a name, but I live here in an area where supposedly one of the rumors of the pastors was at a bunch of the parties, right? Yes. I was a member of the church. So, now, do I believe that he could or she could be a part of a scenario like that? Now, if these people are getting drugged and didn't know it, Now we're talking about a horse a whole nother color, and now you wake up in the morning and find out you were on a tape.
That is exactly what has been happening.
Yeah.
That is exactly what has been happening.
And it'll be like, that's my ASS. What?
Politicians,
Yes.
actors,
Now,
actresses, children.
yeah, that 9-year-old. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is so it's like he's done. But he's gonna be like the movie. Everybody remember the movie Nino Brown? What was the movie called? New Jack City.
Uh-huh.
And they actually did a meme already where Puffy is Nino Brown, right? And at the end, instead of him taking the fall, they had him. He turns around and says, "Y'all think this is all about me, Nino Brown? It's bigger than me. It's you, Akbog. It's you, Jay." You know, he's implicating so many people. It just took the court out of whack. Like, whoa, we can't go here. This dude is now saying he's involved. He's involved. He's involved. We got to shut all this down.
That attorney, that this, that doctor, that lawyer, so many people. Somebody earlier said Cat Williams started it really at the first of the year. I believe that too, when he said that this is the year 2024. And thank you, my friend who said that, that the evil was going to come to the light. I believe so. This world that we're living in, guys, must change. It is changing. Think of all the souls that have been awakened and they're waking up, and that we're no longer hiding within that sheep energy. We're no longer allowing ourselves to be manipulated in those ways. And we have woken up. We've woken up, and it is so important. Yolanda says Cat is a prophet. I believe that Cat, first of all, he went on a limb. That podcast he was on could have gone any way,
right.
my friend.
It could have went any way. Yeah, he was going in it, but
people were going to believe him.
Yeah, I don't think he did. TNT New Life. Yeah, look up, just Google lawyer 100. I think the title's like 100 people lawsuit, and listen to the whole hour. And when he gets deep, he talks about the 9-year-old. It'll make you cringe, man. It will make you. You know, the problem with that is it was their parents, though, because he said it. Their parents was wanting their children and people to have the success that they gave him to do these things. You know, it's like
exactly what happened.
It was crazy. I'm like,
Bieber, that's exactly, his parents literally said, go and go learn, go be in that Diddy.
Yeah, and sign off. This is where you just go and say, you know what? I'm sorry. Where's your mama? Why? I just want to talk to your mama. And you just go, and you know, and then you go you just wait for the police, you know, like take me.
There was a little girl that P. Diddy adopted. I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she was, you know, a young girl, and he adopted her. She even changed her last name, and you can now you could see those old videos where he's out saying, yeah, she lives with me now. It's not like that, ha ha ha. And then he goes into details how he adopted her, and then later she's out there, she's sharing her experience there, and it was traumatic. And so there are so many people going down, and somebody earlier was even mentioning 50 Cent, right? And said that he's been, you know, sounding the alarm. Is he completely, are his hands completely clean? I hope so.
I think so. I think 50 is smart enough. 50 has been always straight since, but he's always been separated from the BS of that stuff. He just always had that. He had the real G about him. You know, that's why. Remember he went on one time when he said Puffy called him, was talking about taking him shopping, right?
Yes,
he said,
yes.
He was like, "Is he out of his damn mind?
Wasn't he on Charlemagne? He was on Charlemagne or something like that.
He was like, that dude called me. He's like, he called me, and don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not saying that 50 don't have stuff that he wouldn't have done, but I think anyone smart enough. Let me put it like this: any of them, the ones that are not speaking against Puffy is the ones who are probably got some stuff involved, right?
But most people are not speaking up at all. So that's how deep this runs.
That's my point. And when you think about 50 and a lot of them, knowing if he knew it, you know how many women would come forward against him right now if they could have, right? So
Mm,
I won't say he hadn't done dirt because he came through the line of that. He said it, but not doing the stuff that we hearing what Puffy have done, drugging people, filming, and all that. He never come in that box, right? He's always been a businessman, but I'm saying he could have done some crazy stuff, but not
we
like
gotta
that.
go. Yeah.
No, no, we good. We
Got
good
your
for now.
meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's one of those things where you know, I want you guys to come back to your own discernment. Us, Dexter Young said, what about Maze? He's been talking about it.
Maze.
Maze. He left and got out a long time ago. Remember, after he left kind of that situation, he was working with him, wasn't really with P. Diddy, wasn't making a lot of money, anything, right? I think that he was essentially uh P. Diddy was holding any profits, all of that. And Hello was getting hurt and all of that too. I'm sure of it. He left. And what did he do? He did a complete 180 into Christianity and was even doing Christian music, wasn't he, for a bit or for a
Mm.
few? I remember that.
Yeah, I think they all kind of make that shift and everything
Mhm.
else. The guy said 30 days or 20 some days that he's going to start fouling. But like I said, I would not be surprised because this is the world. It's sad to say we know it's moved by money.
Mm.
We know that people are hurting, especially the ones who are talking, and that was the same reason that after Cassie, it was just a snowball of lawsuits. I think that now they all just going to get in line, to if anything left when he gets convicted. I mean, because he still can do what he wants. He can transfer. He could give it to the kids. He can put it all. He can. They're probably dispersing money right as we speak, and so those things. Now, of course, there's a new attorney, a new judge. Now they recruited the last one, so they're going to go again to see if they can get him bail. Now, the funny part, what I want everybody to see is this is where the conspiracy comes in, Courtney, because all of a sudden the judges that has been denied has recused themselves. All of a
Mm.
sudden now we're going to get a whole new judge who could possibly
Mm.
give him bail, knowing he's going to go. He's a flight.
Right.
Meaning there are
Mhm.
some deals that are being made on the backside, or his attorneys are pit bulling some people saying, "You get him out of there, or your ASS is going to be on the news."
Mm.
Because I'm sure he had a selection of stuff for these people, and then he had a collection of get out of jail free card tapes.
Mhm. Oh,
You know what I'm
a
saying? And he's
collection
pulling that
or
one right now. Yeah.
wow.
So the only way they can do it is get rid of the old judge, which they're gonna make it like illegal. So that why would he recruit or she or he or whatever recruits himself? And now you got a new judge who could possibly say, well, they didn't look at this right. He now gets bail. And if he gets bail, they already found and to back up for a minute, there's a lady who just went, her stuff is going viral where she's talking about tunnels, not just
Oh,
ordinary
no,
tunnels under
we
his house.
talked about we just spoke about the
Okay,
tunnels.
I missed that part. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm
No,
late.
the tunnels are, first of all, the tunnels are real, and it's not just a P. Diddy tunnel, by the way. These
A
are tunnels
city.
across, these are
Yes.
tunnels across the world, the US. These are tunnels that semis pull into. These are tunnels that run to many of these Hollywood homes, the Playboy Mansion, to so many of these different spaces. It is rampant. It's
Yeah.
rampant. And
Yeah, it's a bunch of underground cities and stuff.
well,
So
did you see, it is, I'm like, let me look at her name, Allie Carter, who came out and was speaking about the auctions that happen, just like somebody
oh yeah.
earlier. Yeah,
Hmm.
the auctions that are happening with people, yes, many of them children and minors, but also just women and men too. It's not just women that they're hurting and that they're trafficking, but these are human people, and it is happening in many of those underground tunnels.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and the people who are um, participating are those that are in the higher echelon of this society, which are, yes, the celebrities, those politicians. I mean, so many of these different people that you would probably be very, very shocked to find out were participating in any of that kind of energy, that life.
Yeah, I think it's something. I did a show once, and I don't remember when, but it was some months back, where we went into what is happening. First, it was all about, oh, okay, all right, I have to go
Go
now.
have
Yeah,
wait.
but it was
We
going to be
live.
real good. It's going to talk about the trafficking of. If y'all still here when I'm done, I'll hop back on. But it's going to be a long production meeting.
Wait, let's have a part 2, and you and I will go on live together. We're going to come
All
back
right,
with
and my eyes should be like I said, I can't see it beat up. That thing went right into my. Oh my god!
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
knock it off, and please take care of yourself. Have a beautiful meeting.
All right, love y'all. Love y'all.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye, friend. Guys, so thank you so much for cluing into this. So many of you guys are on top of this topic, and I so appreciate you. I'm telling you that the time this world is going to be breaking open, that we are going to be, many of us are going to be living in a world where we see and we understand the depth of this pain. Many people will choose to be living in this kind of lower grade energy. And so many of our souls are rising to the new earth, to a new world energy. I'm telling you. And the reason this is coming to a head is because we must almost break apart from the way that it's always been. And this system that evil has been a part of all of our lives, we've just never seen it so blatant, and we can no longer pretend to not see it. And so, my friends, I pray that you meditate, that you are a prayerful person, or connecting to your highest, your truest, and your best. You're finding that faith and that grace for yourself, but you're not blind to the dark truths of these experiences, because you're not crazy, you're not making it up. And if you need to process with people who understand, this is a great podcast where you can share your thoughts. Guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Do me a favor and go like my own personal YouTube page. Go subscribe. It's Cortney, or Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane Sides. Hit subscribe and like on this channel. It means the world to me. And if you're interested in a beautiful VIP group, a community of like-minded people, we dive into topics like this, but also more spiritually connected. It's very rarely conspiracy, although I love that topic because it's usually not conspiracy in the end when it comes out. We're usually just 10 or 15 years ahead, let me tell you. So if you're looking for a beautiful spiritual community where you want to have development, you want to have moments of healing here in this life, I encourage you to sign up for my VIP Inner Circle. It's $11 a month. It's less than a cup of coffee from Starbucks. And you can find that at CourtneyCaneSides.com. Let me put that here. And by the way, I just got asked to come to Las Vegas in November. I'm going to be there, I believe November 1st. So if there's anybody out in Las Vegas, let's do a meetup. It'll be fun. We'll do a Forbidden Knowledge and Cortney Kane Sides meetup together. And I will be there. I'll share later with who and what. So it'll be a really, really awesome time. And I'd love to connect with you guys. Listen, keep speaking your heart, your truth, and connecting and protecting your energy, and save the kids. Let's be good to one another. Bye, guys. Have a good one.